Hey everybody, it's Chugga Conroy! Welcome back to more Pokemon Colosseum. In the last episode, we entered the Shadow Pokemon Lab, snagged ourselves some Shadow Pokemon, and we got ourselves an item that I horribly mispronounced, which we'll be using here in a moment. In this episode, well, I just said that we're going to be using an item at the beginning of the video, but more specifically, we're going to be using it to go deeper into the Shadow Pokemon Lab. So, let's get this started. We already took out the scientist over here. No need to fight him again. Actually, he's called a researcher. So we check this door, and we need the Down Saint key, as I was calling it last time. I don't know. I guess ST for stairs doesn't really, like, ring to me, like, right away. Noticing that I'm having a few dyslexic moments, and hey! You're not supposed to be in here. Screw you. I'll be in wherever I want. Her name is Lair. Hey, Lair. Is this lab your lair? Okay. It had to be done. It really did have to be done. Come on. It was too good to pass up. This is Ciphers Lair, and her name is friggin' Lair. That is... I don't think anything is better than that. Some people were saying that I've missed some puns, like there was a cloak and dagger for like cloak and dagger, which I missed. Like I said many times, I miss a lot of... If there's any clever puns relating to any Cypher peons, or anybody in Colosseum in general, I tend to just not get the puns because they have such weird names 99% of the time that I'm not expecting their names to make sense, so I'm not thinking like, okay, this character's name is that, and their partner was that, so that means it's a joke on this. So, if I'm missing name meanings, that's why. So, looks like I made the right choice by switching out. Didn't like how, I didn't like what I had out there at the beginning, so we're going to do Surf right here. It's not going to affect Carvana all that much, but hey, we'll take out, probably take out Hander. Whoa! Damn! Critical! Whoa! Much better turn than I was expecting, to say the least. Alright, so, while we're taking on this battle, because it's a required battle that's imperative to getting through this area, I want to bring something up real quick that I feel should be addressed. I had some people disagreeing with what I ultimately decided to do regarding Ms. Drevis' nickname. And I'd like to just say that, first of all, some people thought that I was dissing the guy who suggested Effection, and I just want to say I didn't mean to come off that way at all. I wasn't dissing him, I wasn't making fun of him. I was just saying I wasn't sure what to do in the situation, so I decided to give them both a prize. That's all I decided on. So if it made it sound like I was like, oh, this guy is so dumb, he was spelling it wrong, that's not what I meant by it at all. So anybody who might have been making fun of him for that, please lay off. I don't want to give that kind of message at all. But right here, on a happier note, we have a Shadow Pokemon, Murkrow. So let's see what we can do here. Murkrow is another case of a Pokemon that I think would be better if it evolved in this game, but unfortunately Honchkrow did not exist when Colosseum was released. It's an interesting Pokemon, to say the least. It is dark and flying, so physical and special, since dark used to be special, at least when this game came out it was. So it's... yeah, I can't really say one way or the other if I necessarily like that about it or not. It does have Fly, you know, it does have an HM move in a game that doesn't have HMs normally obtainable within it, so maybe that appeals to you, maybe it doesn't. As see there, it did outspeed my Typhlosion, so perhaps maybe you might like its speed. I don't recall it being particularly fast, but I could be wrong, but you can check for yourself how fast it is on screen, and wow, it missed! But yeah, Murkrow's just kind of one of those... Are you serious, Insomnia? Murkrow's just one of those Pokemon that I tend to not think about a whole lot, just because it was kind of painfully average before it evolved, but, you know, want a Dark-type for your team. I suppose it's getting to be kind of late in the adventure, and maybe you might want to pick something up like that. I don't know. But that's really all I have to say about Murkrow, so how about we start trying to catch it? Here we go. Alright, come on. Let's see if we can do it. I know it's at full health, but I'm trying to get luckier because I remember Murkrow not being that bad. 1, 2, 3! Oh my god! Whoa! Guys, my luck has turned. I can feel it. I'm gonna snag... I might be young, but I know what I'm doing. Well, thank you. I'm gonna snag the next boss of Shadow Pokemon. I'm totally gonna do that. I am calling it right now. I think I can actually do it. Go over here. We got a worker here who's actually on a turn. I've been hired to tend to Pokemon. That's what I've been doing this whole time. Were you folks wanting Pokemon too? Okay. Is that so? It's a shame. They're all gone. They're all but taken away somewhere. Every last one. Why'd you even bother asking? What happens if I say no? This guy deserves to be knowed. Is that so? Well, that's fine then. They've all been taken away somewhere. Why did you even bother asking at all? What was the point? We go in here and... Ooh, item. We have a DNA sample, so you want to make this detour over here. The DNA samples, I mentioned in the last video, you want to collect 3 of these. They are hidden throughout the lab, and that is the second one, of course, if you can count. I believe that is the way you're supposed to go. Actually, I don't think it is. Shoot. Again, the Shadow Pokemon Lab is an area that I always struggle with. I never remember exactly which is the way to go, and I don't want to, like, you know, be peeking. Okay, this way is a dead end. Up there is a bit of foreshadowing. We'll see that later, though, so okay, good. This area is kind of designed to be a bit maze-like. There's some dead ends at random trainers. It's off-limits beyond here. Oh, I thought that... Okay, so it's only off-limits behind here, so the Shadow Pokemon Lab is a public attraction that people can just normally go into as long as it's not beyond this point. Okay, that's kind of cool to know. So yeah, we've kind of been going on a tour. We've been touring the Shadow Pokemon Lab. Right here is where we perform dangerous experiments on Pokemon. Right here is where we manipulated the way that their minds work with dangerous drugs to rob them of their free will. And right here is where we developed, right here is where we did who knows what to Pokemon to get samples of their DNA and place their DNA samples throughout the lab for various research purposes. I know, it's a great place. Bring the kids. Yeah, okay. It's kind of going nowhere. But anyway, we have a Shadow Pokemon right here. That was where I was like, It is Fortress. Saying this straight up, if you want a wall in Pokemon Colosseum, this is the best you're going to do. Fortress is a Pokemon that is meant strictly to wall. It has very little offensive capabilities. At least in this game. So moves such as Trick Room and Power Trick and stuff like that didn't exist at this time. It is strictly a wall. And as such, you might think it's bad for single player, but remember, you do have 2 Pokemon out at a time, meaning that you can, indeed, have a wall out and see some use out of it. It's got some interesting moves like spikes, and can be used for some really nice utility-like purposes, I suppose is the best way I can put it. Which is why Fortress is the 5th member of my team. I am going to be doing my best to catch it right here because I want to use this thing on my team. I've never used a strict wall. I've used stuff like Weezing in the past. I've used stuff like Altaria in the past, but it was all stuff that had good defenses but could also deal out damage when it needed to. But this is the case where I feel like I want to use a strict wall because Fortress is a Pokemon that I would never use in another Let's Play ever. I would frankly never use this anywhere else because it is strictly a wall. No other Pokemon game is entirely double battles. And crap, you safeguard. That's another good move that it has, actually. I don't think I could ever find a better place to use this because I'd never use a strict wall in a game where I'm only using one Pokemon at a time because it would be boring and make the videos drag on too long. So I want to show how a really, really strict wall would actually play this time around. Something that I've never gotten to do in a Let's Play before that I would have liked to have done otherwise. So he takes out Affection, proving that he's at least smart enough to attack him as Misdreavus with a move that is not ground, normal, or fighting type. So let's send out Psycho. And what do I want to do here? Let's throw up a Reflect to protect against those Shadow Rushes, and let's throw a Great Ball. We have equal Great Balls and Ultra Balls. I'll probably just alternate using them from here on out. And let's see if I can get just as lucky as I did with Murkrow. Well, not just as lucky because it's actually got some of its health taken out. And I believe Fortress and Murkrow are pretty much same in catch rate. Let's see. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Gotcha! Okay, got it in an Ultra Ball, too. I don't think any member of my team is currently in an Ultra Ball. So before we press on, I want to head back to the PC really quick and pick up my Fortress. Also, for those that are curious, Fortress is available to nickname. However, there is something important that I should mention. And that is that I've looked up official merchandise of Fortress. There is none. No, really. The only official merchandise of anything in the Fortress family is a 1-inch figurine of Pineco that doesn't even look good. And as a result of this, I unfortunately will not be able to do the same thing that I did for the other Pokemon that are in my party. Because of this, and wow, trainer battle. Because of this, I would just like to make it known that I'd be willing to work something else out with whoever wins the nickname of Fortress. I could do a, I don't know, a $40 Wii U gift card. I could do maybe a video game or something like that that you might want for the 3DS. I don't know. If you are the winner of the contest, I will contact you and we'll work something out that you personally really want. But aside from that, that's really all I have to say about it. As you see right here, I took the liberty of healing, of course, when I went to go to the PC. Shoot, did I make the right choice here, actually? I think I might want to switch out to Marshall. It's going to feel so weird also having a Fortress for a little while before I can even nickname it. Being perfectly honest with you, I might actually Time Flute this Fortress fairly soon, because normally I wouldn't Time Flute it, but I would like to show what Time Fluting, using a Time Flute looks like. Time Fluting? I'd like to show what using a Time Flute actually looks like, because we haven't seen it yet, and, you know, normally I'd suggest using it on, like, a legendary Pokemon or something, or maybe, like, on the last 3 Pokemon that you haven't purified so that you can get 100%, you know, easily toward the end. But in this case, I am going to be off-screening a lot of my purifications, so I don't think it's really justified here. But anyway, I've been ignoring the elephant in the room here. I have been ignoring that we have a Shadow Pokemon, Ariados. This is a Shadow Pokemon that I really think should have been given to you when you fought that Cypher Peon back in the Under. I don't know why they did it this way, but hey, and oh, Hyper Mode. First time we've seen that in a while. Brings back memories of Pokémon Colosseum. But anyway, Ariados is a Poison Bug type. You know that I generally like Poison types quite a bit, and that, you know, I think they're kind of underrated, that I do like Poison status, I do like resistance to fighting. I do like a lot of little things about Poison types. Plus, I generally like their abilities. I mean, Poison Point's really mean. Toxic Spike is a fantastic move, even though it's not in this game. And Ariados, it's kind of a general Poison type. I think there are better around here, but I think you can find better in this game. But hey, maybe you might want to pick one up if you have still not picked up a Poison type yet and you've wanted one for a while. But with that, I don't want to accidentally KO that Ariados was served by attacking. I'm trying to figure out how to go about this. Let's throw an Ultra Ball at Ariados, and let's just call Fortress. Okay, let's do that. So if I am going to show Time Flutes, I'm probably going to do it sometime after the Shadow Pokemon Lab, because I don't really want to interrupt the action here too much. I don't really want to, like, break up this dungeon by, like, going to Agate Village and doing that, just because I feel like I've done that enough times. And whoa, I am catching stuff on the first try quite a bit. And he's got a Grovyle. That sucks. And okay, Fortress is not really getting much purification being called. All right, let's see what we can do here. I think I'm gonna resist that on both of my Pokemon, actually. Fortress, I guess I can kind of go a bit more in depth with why I like it so much. Bug and Steel is a good type. I like it quite a bit. It nullifies your weakness to ground as a Steel type, and on top of this, Steel is also the most offensive type in the entire game. It has the most resistances by itself. And I just kind of like that. Only downside is obviously you have the glaring weakness of Fire! I was hoping that Quick Claw would activate, and apparently it didn't. What do I mean apparently? Of course it didn't. Okay. Shoot. What am I gonna do here? Let's go with Psycho right now. I think that's really the best bet. I would go for Corona, but I'm just worried that I'm not gonna KO that Grovyle in one hit. Come on! I really should have time floated it before that. I mean, like, I'm like, I don't want to screw up the action. Man, screw that now. Okay, no, in all seriousness, I do think that it's an important detail that I really should, you know, do that to break up this area more than I already have. Just kind of something I learned from Majora's Mask, because some people weren't necessarily a fan of me leaving the Woodfall Temple as soon as I opened the way to the boss. Even though I felt like it was a good break in the action in the dungeon that I could go off and do stuff, some people didn't like it, and I kind of understand why, but hey. There I go, referencing my older work. Come on, Espeon, let's see if we can do this. I know it's not a poison type, but hopefully it'll still be enough. Of course it isn't. Oh, at least it's confused. Okay, maybe it'll take itself down. Okay. What's it gonna do? Oh, come on! Okay, at least it didn't do that much. Pursuit, for those that don't know, that's a really interesting move. Basically, it, if you're switching out that turn, it will hit you before you're able to switch out and do double damage to you. So it's interesting to say the least. So we'll take out Grovyle because Rhyhorn is underground, and let's see what Rhyhorn is going to do with Dig. I get the feeling that Fortress is not... Whoa, Fortress outsped it?! Damn, Rhyhorn! You know you're slow when... I mean, Fortress is a metallic pine cone. Okay, no, it's a bagworm, but still. It evolved from a pine cone and is made of metal. Not being able to outspeed that thing is just sad. I'm sorry, but I legitimately feel sorry for Rhyhorn right now. Rhyhorn right now. You know how that pun was? Right on! Okay, I'll stop. I really do like Rhyhorn and Rhydon making puns with them. Catastrophically strong! We get our prize money, and, yeah. So, I apologize if it feels like we're not moving along too much here, though, but we went ahead and we got ourselves 3 new Shadow Pokemon, one being a team member, and we advanced to the next floor of the Shadow Pokemon Lab. So how about next time on Pokemon Colosseum, we go even deeper into the depths of the lab. See you guys then.